Hello, listeners. Good day, good evening from where I am talking to you. You're welcome to this edition of my Liberation Gospel. I'm talking from this new page, like I wrote down on my friendship page wall, that I decided to open up a new page, a former page, light page, which I do run was closed down by Facebook, and like I said, it's their platform. We will always find a way to navigate. Kudos to them. This is the biggest online platform, and that is why we are here. In as much as the social media gives us the audacity and the reach, there are still efforts to stifle freedom of speech, and the farthest reach to people. There are billions of people here, so that's why we are. But all the same, it's one of those things that we have decided to restore the Republic of Biafra, so that we can make use of our God-given talents, because sometimes you will imagine, is it only Westerners or from America that these innovations comes from? No. I've always told my friends and people that you cannot prosper economically as a people or as a nation or as a country unless you win your political battle. You have your political independence, and that is what is happening in this world. But I'm not here to further on that subject. I'm here to talk about Radio Biafra, IPOB, and matters arising. I wanted to play a clip, a cliche of Radio Biafra. If you talk about Radio Biafra now, especially in this generation, we talk about IPOB and the leader of the IPOB, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But the Radio Biafra as an instrument of communication, or as mechanism, or as a body, has always been in existence. It's started from during the time of the Nigeria Civil War, and it's had it ended after the end of the conflict, and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has resurrected that, and in its landmark characteristics, it's doing what it's meant for. But this time, it has gone beyond that. In this, and I will just within an hour, I will try to touch briefly on Radio Biafra, IPOB, the way I'm talking about it from the other side. This is a new page. You can help me spread the page, spread the visibility of the page by inviting your friends. We are doing what we can to assist on this march for freedom, on this march to restore what we become, the path to restoring the dignity of man and Africans. So hence I've decided to open up this page. And then looking at Radio Biafra, what does it mean for its listeners? Recently, I started listening to it. Although I've been researching on it, I knew about the days of Okokondem during the time of the Nigeria and Biafra War. As a writer and a historian, I delved a bit into that. There was this my book. Some of you who are listening to me may have come across the book. Wida Ndi Igbo is a political history of the Igbos. When I was writing the book, I delved into articles and materials about the Radio Biafra. But the current Radio Biafra that is operated by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, what does it mean for us? What does it mean to its listeners? What do we think about it? And in talking about it, you will, and you must have heard about the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, in which Nnamdi Kanu runs. The IPOB gained limelight from 2012, although there are issues surrounding it. But the IPOB we know about is the one run by Nnamdi Kanu, and it has gained attention, a global attention, and writers and opinionists like us watch it with keen interest. Its organs, development, modus operandi, and more. And there are criticisms, though, but we have to look more on the progressive side, because he has done a lot. In looking at the Radio Biafra, which is also known as the voice of Biafra during the Civil War, it's now transmitted globally on many fronts. The FM, through the apps, and on social media. It has a very good following, and landmark characteristics from the time of the Nigerian Civil War is been added on by the character of the leader of IPOB. I remember during my time at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, we were running for student union presidency, and because in Anambra they always play this religious politics, you know, or our place, you know, in Anambra there's this Catholic Anglican politics. So the chaplaincy, we came to mass one Sunday during the heat of the electioneering campaign, and the assistant chaplain just called me in. But before then, something happened. I wouldn't want to delve into that because this is not why I'm doing this. I'm not talking on that subject. So we came into mass, and the assistant chaplain called me out and one other guy who were, and you know, surprisingly, the whole church, they wanted to have a vote to present a single Catholic candidate for that elections. Why I decided to bring on this story is because of a particular thing I want to buttress as I weave my words and my story in this edition of my Liberation Gospel. I wouldn't want to call the name of that my rival, but some of you who were at Nnamdi Azikiwe University during that era knows all. At St. Joseph the Walker chaplaincy, all the doors in the church were locked, and the church was packed, and we were called out. Before then, the Catholic, like I said, the politics in Anambra State, they always play this Protestant Catholic issue. And this time, the Catholic Church wanted to present a candidate, and they set up a committee from president of all sodalities or Bibles, society, charismatic, this, and all the intended candidates, all the candidates were screened. And at the end of at the end of the screening, I came top in that screening. But unfortunately, there were still those who were against my candidature because I wasn't really a pious guy. I wasn't that kind of guy that comes to church every minute or lives in the church. But those who scrutinized the candidates, all the points they marshaled out, they said I came tops because I had the mass appeal that most of the students in the university weren't that Catholic. So they are not going to vote because you're a Catholic. They're going to vote based on certain characteristics. And as such, we came to church, and the guy who took second refused to step down. And surprisingly, the assistant chaplain locked the doors and told the ushers to lock all the doors, that it's going to be decided once. Okay, and we were brought out in front of the church and asked to kneel down at the altar, you know, that kind of thing. And I was just worried. I said, which kind of thing is this? And we were asked to pray. After prayers, they asked us a few questions, our background, and as such. But the first question they asked us is what I want to, why I decided to narrate this short story. And the assistant chaplain asked me, who is a president? Who is a president? He asked me, I asked the other guy. And defining the president, there I said, look, the president is the leader of an organization whose idiosyncrasy guides that group. The president is the leader of a group or a nation or any whose idiosyncrasy guides that group. And why am I saying this? I'm talking about Radio Biafra. Radio Biafra, what we see today, or what we hear today from the Radio Biafra, it revolves around the ideas of Nnamdi Kanu. This Nnamdi Kanu, I had a close shave with him, contact with him when he came to Ireland. You can access the interview on YouTube. It has part 1, 2, 3. And ever since then, I've observed him closely. After I had many of you may not be into spirituality. I had revelations on 3 accounts about him when he was in prison and later. And ever since, I decided to observe him closely and see how far he will go, because we have many guys who are pushing on this issue of Biafra. A few of them have made a little impact, but Nnamdi Kanu has pushed it further. And with the emergence of the Radio Biafra, that radio has become a hallowed chamber. Hallowed chamber in the sense that it's gone beyond its characteristics and services as a radio station. It's now doing many things, teaching, pouring out the fruits of its research, tearing the walls of injustice, and spreading courage like vapor, and energizing its listeners. And this is why I said, let me look at it briefly. I have many things to say about it, or if I'm writing, I can write a lot about it. But for now, I said within 1 hour, I'm going to look at the services of the Radio Biafra, IPOB, and matters arising. In talking about Radio Biafra, a lot of things need to be looked at. The idiosyncrasy of the man behind the microphone. And like I said, I defined an organization by the mentality of its leader. And many have criticized Nnamdi Kanu, including me. At the onset, there's one talk I gave one time, but what I said then was the way people were bowing and genuflecting and, you know, doing to him. But I came to understand that these things are not deliberate, because what we have passed through in Nigeria, that country, Nigeria, you wouldn't blame anybody calling it zoo. He coined the word zoo, that Nigeria should be referred as zoo, because the way the country treats its citizens, the way the people of Nigeria are treated. I mean, if you look at some people, they treat their dogs nicely. But in Nigeria, human life is nothing. You will see hundreds are killed on a daily basis, and nobody hears about it. The way people are butchered, the way the state runs its things, even in the past, before this draconian Buhari came on, past leaders, they've always disregarded the rights and privileges of the people of Nigeria. And as such, you see, I begin to see why the people that revere Nnamdi Kanu, the way they behave, while people were kneeling before him or genuflecting or doing that, because it's, I mean, when you your truth is being held tightly by evil leaders, and you get someone who is now acting like a savior, I mean, you will be grateful, you will appreciate the person, you will revere the person, you will stand in awe when in front of the person. And that's what was happening. I came to look closely on these things, and I decided to understand. I came to understand that, look, this is what is bringing up this reference, and you wouldn't stop this kind of reference, because Nigeria itself is a bad zone. It's a place where there's no security. It's a place where there's no justice unless you can buy it. It's a country that people eat out of it by intimidating others. It's a country that even workers' salary is a privilege. To get your salary after doing your job is like being privileged, you know, to get your day's pay at the end of your rendering your services. It's a place whereby the little things you should have, you have to pray for it. You have to fast for it. You have to even do a lot of things for it. It's a country, I mean, that the people doesn't have rights. So why wouldn't people bow down before someone who is going out of his way to do things, to rescue them, or to sensitize the world about their plight? Hence, the importance or the rise of the Radio Biafra. The Radio Biafra has turned to be more than a radio. Like I said, the idiosyncrasy of initially the director of Radio Biafra is guiding the radio station, and it has a spread on many fronts, and base and listenership has grown widely. And apart from that, there's this divine-centric that is also another factor with that Radio Biafra. Because our people, despite the fact that many of our people have strayed the path on the pathway to our Creator, God. They say religion. Yes, Karl Marx will always say that religion is the opium of the masses. But I always go against that Karl Marx assertion, because though you wouldn't blame aspect of his statements by saying that religion is the opium of the masses, looking at the intentions and the drive behind capitalism. But if you look deep, you will understand with what is happening around the world that there's divinity. There's the existence of God. Anybody who doubts the existence of God, it's living in a fool's paradise. Because from what is happening around the world, from what is happening around our daily life, you will know that there's the existence of a supreme being. And the core listeners of Radio Biafra believe, irrespective of the fact that they may have strayed the path to their Creator, or they may not have been living a holy life, but they believe that they are children of God. And that connection is there. Even like as a Christian, the Bible will always tell you that we have run short of the grace of God. It's only the grace of God that keeps us moving. No one is a saint, as we do say, and from our personal encounter with God, God doesn't expect, we cannot be like him. It is only him that is spotless. All the people, all those he has used, even in the Bible, one way or the other, sinned. And why were we told that he's a forgiving Father? Even there are many ways. Even Jesus Christ, who is the Savior, according to Christians, talked about the parable of the prodigal son. That the parable buttresses that straying on that path to God and still returning to that path in search of the Father and being at peace. So Radio Biafra with Nnamdi Kanu, it encompasses that divinity, that closeness, that link with the Creator. And, it brings a lot of people that listen to it closer to God and believing in him. Because whatever you may argue, however you may argue, you will understand that the 10 commandments, in as much as some of us who I've always argued with my brothers who are from Africa, that the white man bringing modern Christianity to our shores or our land, it didn't mean that we are heathens, that we did not believe in God. No, our ancestors believed in God. They've always believed in God. In as much as along the line, they strayed paths on many fronts. I've always referred people to the book by the life and times of Olaude Equiano, the man who was taken as a slave and exported to the West. He gave a proper account of how life we are in the hinterland, in today's Biafran territories. he told, when he went to abroad, the New World, he saw some aspect of their culture. He saw how they were practicing their culture. And I was surprised and said, look, my people do these things, though. How come that these people are doing the same thing? So you will understand that the white man bringing Christianity, in as much as some of them had good intentions, but the bulk of their intentions were to rip us off, the way most of the pastors today are doing. So I've always just compared them, this capitalist Christianity. So the Radio Biafra today, it redefines spirituality in the mindset of its listeners. It redefines spirituality in the sense that, look, the A to Z of spirituality is keeping the 10 commandments of God. I know that going to church is important. Why do we go? Why do we advise to go to church or go to place of worship? They say iron sharpeneth iron. When you listen to, some of us are lazy followers of God. But when you listen, you just like, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. If you keep company of good people, you're bound, to be nice. You'll be influenced. It's just like in southern Nigeria. Southern Nigerians are prosperous more than northern Nigeria, in the sense that neighbors. You see, we are neighbors, so we influence each other. You see, the Igbos, they like making money, they like to be successful, so their neighbors, the Ishan, their brothers, the Anangs, the Ibibios, the Ijos, the Urobos, they want to be successful too. The Yorubas like going to school. Their neighbors want to equally meet up, So show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. If you keep the company of hooligans, armed robbers, and bad people, if you don't have a strong character and strong spirit, you may be bound to pick up one or two of their vices, of the bad things they are doing. So Radio Biafra redefines spirituality in the sense that, we see where we come from. We see people go to church every day, yet they are doing the worst things. We've seen, in as much as they will always say end time, but in the same church, we're supposed to practice the basics of our Christian practice. Are supposed to be obeying the 10 commandments. We get to the church, we no longer talk about righteousness, forgiveness, the golden rule, loving, doing unto others what will be good if it is done unto you. There, we will now go there and start worshiping our pastors and start singing praise of our eloquent GOs and things like that. So this is why recently, especially in this period of the lockdown, I started listening to Radio Biafra and getting to understand its characteristics. And you cannot talk about it without talking about the man behind the microphone. And I begin to, ruminate, both spiritually and otherwise, the character of the man. Nobody is a saint. Nobody is a saint. Make no mistake about it. But God will always use humans to do his work. After all, Paul, if you're a Christian, you remember Paul. Paul was formerly Saul. He was, he changed on his way to Damascus, where he went to kill Christians. Did he not? And the lightning struck him and he got blind before he was later healed when he reached the town he was going to. So many have criticized the man behind the microphone in Radio Biafra. They say he's arrogant, he's this, he's that, he insults elders, he brings down people and all sorts. But it is important to begin to look deeply, what he's saying. I often tell people, forget about the messenger and look at the message. When he says arrogant to what? Arrogant to murderers, arrogant to people who are not doing the right thing, arrogant to those who are liars. I mean, most Nigerians have always wished what happened in Ghana to happen in Nigeria. God.